Hey guys, it's Neil and welcome to Hardcore Linux. In this video, I'm going to talk about file permissions in Linux briefly. So, let's get started. So, the first thing we need to do in order to discuss this topic is a file that we currently have no permissions to. The easiest way to do is sudo nano, then a file name. Suppose it's nil. What it's gonna do as a root user is going to produce a file named nil. Now let's type I love Linux and then Ctrl O to write and Ctrl Z to exit. Now if I type ls-l and hit enter, I can see here the nil file is owned by root and the user group root. Now those are the permissions. The way it works, this is for the owner, this for the groups, and this one for the others or public. So the owner can read and write the file, the groups can read the file, and the public can read the file. So if I want myself able to read and write, I have to change those permissions and I need to share it with the group nil. Now in order to do that, we can use chown, that stands for change ownership. So now if I type sudo chown, now how this works is user groups and then the specific file name or folder name. So the user corresponds to that column and the groups correspond to that column. So I'm going to leave the owner as root and share with group nil, and then the file name we want to perform this action, it's nil in my case, and hit enter. Now if I type ls-l and hit enter, I can see the nil file is under the owner root and the group nil. Now the permissions of the group nil is set to read only. Now we have to change this one to read and write. To do that, we have to use chmod for change those permissions. So if I type sudo chmod, and now just remember 6 means it is readable and writable, 4 means it is readable, and 7 means directory or folder. But we didn't usually use 7 on a single file, that's common sense. So if I type this permission in numerical order, then it will look like 644. That means 6 for read and write, 4 means read, and now in order to gain read and write access to group nil, we have to write 664. That means the owner can read and write and the group can also read and write the file, and then the file name, which is nil, and hit enter. And now if I type ls-l and hit enter, I can see the group nil now got read and write access to that file. Now suppose I wanted to own that file forever. We create that file in super user privileges, but now I want to be the owner of this file. So what I have to do, I have to type sudo chown, then nil, and then nil, and then the file name. If I hit enter, and now if I type ls-l, then I can see this file is owned by nil, so we get the ownership of this file. Suppose I don't need that file anymore. To delete a single file, we have to type rm for remove and then the specific file name, hit enter, then I type ls, and the file is removed. Now let's create a directory in super user privileges. For that I have to type sudo mkdir, that means make directory, and suppose I want to name it my directory, why not my dir. And if I type now ls-l, that's our directory. Now it's owned by root, and this means this file is readable, writable, and executable. Now if I go into that directory, this means I am executing it. I just allow myself to execute that directory. Now if I create a file in that directory, suppose it should be named as Neil, and it says me permissions denied because I create that directory in super user privileges. So now if I type ls-l, then the Neil file should be owned by root because we use sudo and the directory is made under sudo privileges. So let's create some files. Suppose neil.cpp, linux.c, and hit enter. And now if I type ls-l and hit enter, I can see all three files are owned by root. Now suppose I want to own all the files in that directory. So either I can type sudo chown neil:neil and then neil linux.c and neil.cpp. But think about it, maybe you want to perform this action on a directory which contains 2000 files. Then if you're gonna apply this method, it will gonna take a long time. So what I'm gonna do, jump a level up, and now I'm gonna type sudo chown and then I'm gonna pass the argument -R, which means recursive, then neil:neil my directory, and if I hit enter and then go to my directory and type ls-l, now I can see each and every file is owned by me. So that's the brief introduction on Linux file permissions and file ownership. If you guys think this video is helpful, then leave a like button and subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. If you guys like to check my other videos, I'm gonna leave a link in the description for you. It's Hardcore Linux signing off.